Hi, I'm Brandon. I am the outreach and community education manager. Basically, my role is to interact with our member companies, make sure they're getting the most out of their benefits, and also to reach out to companies that don't know about us, who aren't familiar with us and what we have to offer, try to make new relationships with new companies. So that's me and my role. Not a whole lot else to say about that, but I do have the opportunity now to introduce our speaker for this month. His name is James Ray. He's with Utah Safety, or excuse me, he's with the Utah State Government, and I don't have his bio in front of me. I messed up. Hang on, 1 second. I messed up. My apologies, everybody.
I think he has the best hair.
And you're totally fine. If you want, I can introduce myself.
I found it. I found it, James. James is currently the State of Utah Be Ready Business Program Lead, promoting private sector resilience. He has 14 years of experience with the Utah Division of Emergency Management and has been intimately involved with the following: Be Ready Utah campaign, State Citizen Corp coordination, promoting the whole community emergency management framework, state level CERT program administrator and instructor, executive secretary for the state of Utah VOAD board, state of Utah emergency response team, vice president for the Disaster Discovery Center board of directors. He's also a graduate of Utah Valley University with a bachelor's degree in emergency management administration. And we're going to turn the time now over to James.
All right. Thank you for that. I'm going to try to share my screen. Oh, sharing is not turned on. Let's see. Let's see if this works. While we're waiting for that, oh, there we go. Entire screen. Share. Oh, hold on. Let me optimize for audio just in case.
And just really quickly to butt in, if you do have any questions, if you're online with us, if you put those questions into the chat, we will be looking at that.
All right. Do you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right. What I'm going to be sharing with you here really quick is all about business continuity. And the first thought here is this does apply to you. If you are a decision maker within your own company and an administrator in terms of safety and emergency planning, whether it's an emergency response plan, a continuity plan, or a recovery plan, all of the things that I'm going to share with you definitely apply. But if you're not, let's just say you are an employee with your organization and you don't have any command or control over any of those aspects, business continuity still applies to you. And here's why. One, if you get a paycheck, then business continuity matters to you. You want to continue to receive that paycheck so you can support your family. And if your business goes under because it can't continue its operations, then you're out of a paycheck. So this definitely matters to you. Also, if you're in a position where you care about the future of your business, then business continuity matters to you. It definitely relates to today's topics in terms of the Utah Safety Council on safety itself. Continuity planning has a magnificent way of improving the safety within our organizations. We know from a community standpoint that businesses are our local economic engines. Without businesses, our communities shut down. Also, we live in a very interconnected world. So disasters that occur on the other side of the world have a way of impacting our own businesses. Just take, for a case, an example. You go to the local grocery stores during COVID-19 and you start seeing empty shelves and you wonder why. It's because the supply chain associated with the goods, products, or even services associated with what could be on those shelves is no longer working. The whatever was being shipped from point A to point B isn't getting there. Whatever started at point A isn't being created because of whatever. Also, infrastructure failure has a very dramatic impact on our businesses. If any of our local infrastructure were to shut down for any reason, then our businesses won't be able to continue operating. You have to create some kind of an alternative. And so, before I show this particular website to you, I want to just quickly show something, this to you. Let's take business continuity and simplify it. Just to double check. Can you see my screen? I'm showing a PowerPoint presentation. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So let's make business continuity as complicated as it could sound like. Let's make it as easy as possible. Something that is absolutely doable. And guess what? This can apply to your family. This can apply to activities you plan in your own personal life. Definitely applicable for the business. But let's say within your organization, you may have what's called essential functions, something that just has to keep operating. If it doesn't keep operating, the normalcy of your life is very interrupted, and bad things happen, right? So whatever those essential functions are in your organization, let's say if that function were to stop functioning, what's the alternative? Right? Just consider that simple question. What is the alternative to this function? And that is continuity planning. Granted, you could say, how can we mitigate against that function getting interrupted? But as well as what's the alternative? Now, in terms of emergency response plans, that's what ERP stands for right there. If it was an emergency response plan, there's two different aspects here. One is you have your essential function. If it stops for whatever reason, how do we respond to that function to get it back up and running? And the other aspect is if there's a hazard, if it's a disaster of some kind, natural, man-made, technological, accidental, whatever might be the case, whatever the hazard, how are we going to respond to that? What's the protective action, for instance, like with an earthquake, drop, cover, and hold on, or if you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll, right? There's the response to that hazard. And the answers to that question, what's the alternative, or how do we respond to that? That is what constitutes your plans. And so to simplify it in as simple of a way as possible, even within your organization, you have a mission to accomplish. You have people, the personnel, right, that help get that running, and you may have a facility that you run or operate out of. And facility doesn't have to be a brick and mortar building per se. A facility could be a machine. A facility could be a conduit. Whatever that facility is for your scope of work. If the facility fails, then we need to be thinking of what's an alternative facility that we could use for that. If the personnel and the facility fails, you still have your mission to accomplish, but you may have to then devolve your operations to someone else or some other organization to continue your mission until you can get your facility and your personnel back up and running. And then once things get back up and running, there's reconstitution, where you then get back into your new normal of operating. So overall, the business continuity or operational resilience is associated with the overall health and strength of the organization. So keeping that really simple, but here are some tools, some resources I want to show you, and you're welcome. Pull out your phones, your computers, follow along. I want you to see where these resources are so that you can actually start doing these, or share it with your coworkers, or share it with your boss, or share it with whoever has the authority within your organization to start moving forward on this. Point number one, right here on the front homepage, if you go to BeReady.Utah.gov, that's the state's emergency preparedness campaign website. And on there for now, these tiles change from time to time, but for now you'll see a direct link to an online business continuity training. Let's say we click on that link. Right here is a simple flyer. You guys are welcome to print it, share it, promote it. This is free to access, free to take, but also does provide CEUs, credit hours for your learning. You can take this online free self-paced course through this link. We partnered with the University of Utah Rocky Mountain Center for Occupational and Environmental Health, which is one of your guys' partners, right? And they're providing the federal grants to host it on their website. And the Utah Division of Emergency Management provided all of the information. And now you have a self-paced business continuity course that walks through all of the principles that you'll see on our website right here. So if I go to the website, BeReady.Utah.gov again, you go to the business page. You can get there up here on the navigation bar if you float your arrow or your finger above there, or the drop down thing, and you can see these drop downs as well. But even if you click on that, you'll go to our homepage for business, or down here, right here, there's a business tab. Either place, it goes to the same thing. So click on that, and on our Be Ready business page, I'll just scroll down here just a scoosh, and you'll see that link for online business continuity planning training right there as well. A couple of other resources to kind of tap into. If you would like business or workplace related information that has to do with your organization's resilience and emergency preparedness and response and business continuity, I am sending about once every 2 weeks, maybe even once a month, an email that is full of resources for businesses. And so you can subscribe to that email. Also, we have some social media posts on our Be Ready Utah Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, things like that that relate with businesses. You'll see our Be Ready Business Wednesday posts on a regular basis. Also, we have a Be Ready Business library, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But for now, let's go to this Make a Plan page, and I just want to show you our 15 points of business continuity and some additional resources. So if you scroll down, you'll see the 15 points of business continuity planning, and the online course addresses each of these points. One benefit to the online course as well is that within your organization, you could have a single person take a single unit within the course. So like, for instance, if it's your finance department and they're talking about financial resilience, and you can say, hey, can I have the people from the finance department take this financial resilience unit within the business continuity course? They could do that. But here's the other aspect. The course takes principles and context and marries them with the tools and resources in context. So you understand how to use those. It teaches you, and it goes line by line, and you can learn that way. Within this website are the links to all of those training materials as a reference. You could read it on your own. You can look through it on your own. But just as an example, here on this page or in the Be Ready Business Library, I'll show you both, you can access the PowerPoint slide deck. So if we click on that, and voila, it automatically goes to that topic's slide deck. Each of the slides have the associated talking points in the notes section, as well as the various links to all of the various documents and things like that. So that if you're wondering, what did they say about this or that through the training? You can go here and use it as a reference or a refresher tool or whatever to kind of help you within your process of planning. So just as one example here, let me go back up here just a scoosh right before I go to the Be Ready Business Library. I just want to show you some of the links that are up here. If your organization is looking for templates, you'll see right here in this kind of center column, if you're on a computer, if you're on a phone, you can scroll down to the download section and you will see a whole bunch of scenarios that are pre-available, created for you. So you don't have to create your own scenarios for exercises or training. You'll see a whole bunch of continuity templates or emergency response plan templates. My only word of caution to templates is that it's not yours. And if we boil that continuity down into that simplest thing that we talked about previously, if you say, here's my essential function and how do I respond to it, or what's the alternative to it if it fails, those simple questions could be your plans. You don't have to have the 100-page documents that many organizations have, right? So keep it simple. Also, and this is available in the library as well, you'll see these executive summaries. We're in the process of building more, but for now, they represent with each of the units within the online course and each of the points of business continuity that we talked about before. So we have these one-page or single document, two-sided executive summaries that summarize that entire unit in one page. And you can go there, download those. If your executive directors, any of the leadership within your organization are like, hey, I don't have time to take a course, but I need some of the fundamentals so that I can start making decisions and making progress forward, definitely this kind of a resource is for them. But also in context to, hey, here's the summary of what I just learned, and utilize it as a reference tool to help you take those next steps. Now I want to just quickly go to that library. So again, if you go to that business tab, our Be Ready Business kind of landing page, and we go to Be Ready Business Library, you can click right on that. And I want to show you, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see all of the presentation slide decks, the links to all of the various units within the business continuity course. And you can access those freely at your own will, at your own pace, and utilize it to help you start making steps forward in those ways. So also, let's just say within your organization, you're interested in sharing more information to your employee base. You could take any of the various videos from our YouTube playlists and get that hyperlink and share it in an email and says, hey, here's another video that relates to whatever topic, right? We've got tons of things like that. Also, all of the various tools and resources that the business continuity course talks about are in this documents section. You can use it as a download. If you forget where something is, you can go here and look it up and download the various resources that are there to help you out. With that, those are some of the basic resources that I wanted to highlight to you today. But I would be willing to entertain a few questions if any of you have some questions about business continuity or about any of the resources that I just shared with you.
So I'm a small business owner and I don't have time for all this. What's the one thing I should do?
Excellent question. My first word of advice would be to take the online course. Obviously, if you're like, I don't have time for that, if you just want to jump right into some continuity planning, there is one resource that I might suggest accessing, and that's this one right here. It's called Business Process and Business Impact Analysis. That is the most important document within the continuity planning framework that helps enable you to start finding out what your essential functions are and determining the alternatives to those essential functions. Now, if it's even worse, right, and you're just like, I don't have time to do any of that. Again, we have to allocate time to things that are important for us. And I'll just reference back to, if you like receiving a paycheck and you like having your business, and especially if you're an owner for the business, doing something within the continuity world is better than doing nothing at all. And again, let's take it to that very simple concept here. Oh, here, not that one. We'll go to this one right here. If you're going back to the very simplest concepts here, just simply think about your business. What are the essential functions? What's the alternative? Now, if you can get that written down somewhere, and then you can help teach the other employees how to respond to that alternative, that's a step in the right direction. In its simplest way, at least do that. Answer the question, what's the alternative for my essential function if that stops working? And how do I respond to those if they stop working? And if you do that, that has a way of saving so much when dollars matter, when the clock keeps ticking. So small business, you don't have time, at least do that. Does that help?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Anybody else have questions? I don't think there was anything in our chat. Yes, sir.
We have a question from chat. Are there any resources on this website for CERT training? And then if there are CERT trainings in the Valley right now, who does them and what does it cost?
Excellent question. Here, I'll show you. If you're on the business page, there is a workplace CERT concept that's out there. There are some businesses where it makes sense to build a community emergency response team force within their own workplace. The typical way to get training for the typical citizen is to contact their local city and say, hey, do you offer CERT training? Sometimes it's their fire department. Sometimes it's the police department that does it. Sometimes it's the public works department, right? It depends city by city. But contact the city and ask them, how can we get CERT trained? There are many cities within the state of Utah where the training is free of charge to its citizens. However, there are also many cities where they do require a minimal cost to cover some of the equipment and printing of materials like the books, the manual, and whatnot. And so it kind of depends city by city. You can click on that particular link to get to the state's CERT page, but another way you can do it, go to the community tab and you can scroll down on the community tab until you see CERT. Or you could even type in this search bar CERT and see it that way as well. But go to that button, same place for workplace or just regular CERT. It's the same thing. And there's a whole bunch of videos, downloadable documents, guides, other links to things. You can find a CERT program near you with that link via the federal registration process for CERT programs. Also, there is an online training. So the same partner with the University of Utah that we used to build the business continuity course, individuals can also go online and at their own pace and convenience for free, no cost, they can go and take the online or the hybrid CERT course. Hybrid means there's still some hands-on practical components to the training, and they would still need to meet with some CERT instructors to pass off that practical portion of the training. But all of the lecture portion, all of the PowerPoint components, everything like that is covered through this online component. And anybody can take that class online at your own pace and convenience with any device. So feel free to take that if you want to encourage your employee bases to take that. You as a workplace, the address that your workplace is at, you could contact the city near you. If the city near you doesn't offer CERT training, then you can contact the county emergency manager office and say, hey, how can we get CERT training for our employees? So if you ask your city or the county, they may work with you and help provide instructors to come to your workplace to offer the training. Or they may say, hey, we're doing a training on such and such date. Feel free to have your employees sign up with us to participate on that date. So various opportunities there to take training online at your own pace, but being online doesn't mean you're fully trained until you complete that hands-on practical portion with the municipality that you're near. So feel free to take a look at all of those various resources as well on our Be Ready Utah's Community Emergency Response Team webpage. Does that help?
That's terrific. Yes.
Excellent. Any other questions?
We have one more.
Okay.
And South Salt Lake are doing a conjoined CERT this month.
Excellent. Oh, are you saying, are they? Or
No, they are. I'm telling you that they are. So Mill Creek City and South Salt Lake are they're joining together to do a CERT program, and it's this month in Mill Creek.
excellent. Excellent. So yeah, but again, taking the training doesn't necessarily have to be within your own jurisdiction. If your jurisdiction is not doing anything, contact a neighbor jurisdiction. Ask them, can we join in with you? Is that okay? Right? By all means. I do want to point out one additional resource here. All of the preparedness topics that Be Ready Utah has and provides are always available on our website. You can peruse through the various 12 areas of preparedness, or you can look at the various hazards and see all of the videos and the downloadables and the links and the information provided on every single one of those topic specific pages. Additionally, though, you can actually request us from Be Ready Utah to come and present at your location. We can be there in person. We could do this virtually, just like we're doing now. And any of the various topics, if you click on that little block, again, it's on the very home page of our website, and you tell us, how do you want us to do this presentation and what's the topic you have in mind? You're welcome to select anything. If nothing is applicable there, you can select the other category and just type in what you're looking for. And we can modify and make it tend to your needs, whatever the presentation topic on preparedness is that you would desire. So this is a service free of charge provided by the state of Utah to enable you individuals, families, schools, businesses, communities, and whatnot to start getting prepared. So by all means, ask us. Any other questions?
I think we have one more.
Insurance, how dependent should business owners be on just business insurance? Like, how big of a role should insurance play in a business continuity plan?
That is a great question. So oftentimes business owners or finance departments incorrectly ascribe insurance as their plan, right? They're like, we have insurance, so we don't need to do anything. When you talk to the insurance companies, they may provide more vision to what insurance really truly does for you. And in all of the cases, insurance does not fill all of your gaps. It only provides the minimal amount of money necessary to help you start to get yourself back on your own feet. But it doesn't cover it all. It only covers the minimum associated with your policy. And so financial impacts to a business are huge. Thus, insurance is very important to help offset many of those impacts. But insurance isn't going to tell your employees how to act in the event of an emergency. It isn't going to tell your essential functions to get back online. It may help you with some of the rebuilding costs, but it's not going to help you with all of the rebuilding costs. So having those financial resilience principles in mind, again, here I'll go to that business page. Let's go down to our Be Ready Business Library. And let's go to, well, actually, there's something else you might be interested in. A lot of past information that we have sent out is all archived here. So just in terms of financial preparedness, you could actually go to this link right here and then see all of the things that we have had in the past about financial resilience that we've sent out. However, if you go to the unit in the business continuity training associated with financial resilience and insurance coverage, you can actually go drill down into there and discover all of the various insurance options and discussions about financial resilience principles that you can actually start to implement now, which will help you in the long run. So again, insurance, very important, financially speaking, to help you get back on your feet, but it doesn't cover everything. So understanding its limitations, understanding what it can do, have that frank discussion with your insurance provider on what truly is covered and what the limitations of that insurance truly are. So anyways, check that unit out. Hopefully that will help as well. Does that answer the question?
It was so good. Thank you.
Excellent. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you. And
Really
I'll turn it
appreciate
back to
you.
you.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming out and giving us this information, really valuable information for anybody that manages a business or owns a business. Excellent information. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You got it? Okay. So that's it for our Start with Safety. Next month, we'll be back with Martin Herrera talking about achieving zero fatalities on our roadways. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your time.